Hello everyone, so today I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the honey badger. So recently I've made a loadout for the honey badger. I usually use the AK-12, but now I've got the gold camo for it. I've decided to move onwards and upwards in life. So I've heard a lot about the honey badger. A lot of people seem to use it. Majority of the time I get killed, it is from someone who's using a honey badger. And I just heard a lot of people in general, like my friends and other people that I just hear online, always using it and saying it's a good weapon. So I thought, why not try it out? Because other than my AK-12, I've tried out the Remington and that's about it. So I've took the approach, I've made a loadout and I've used it a little bit. Now I know a lot of people choose to make videos like this on what their loadout is, but I personally feel that everybody has a different approach to how they use a weapon, and there is no really best loadout, I would say. More just what's perfect for you individually. So why not make my own video on what I think's the perfect loadout for this gun, and if it works for you, it works for you. So yeah, let's get on with it. So the attachments I'm using for this gun are the red dot sight and extended mags, which gives you 50% more ammo. I find that the extended mags is probably a lot more useful and beneficial to you to use on this kind of gun instead of using it in foregrip. I don't know why, but I just feel that foregrip doesn't really affect the gun that much. I don't personally experience a lot of recoil. I know obviously some people do find that more of a problem and it does bother them more, but personally I don't know, it's not that bad. Like I've used the AK-12, which has a little bit worse recoil than this gun, so I find that if I can deal with it on that one, which I actually do, so I can definitely deal with it on this one. And I don't know, I think extended mags is very useful if you're someone who likes to spray a bit, which I tend to actually do accidentally, especially if I get like jumped on. If you've seen one of my previous videos, you will see that I just go mad, don't I? So yeah, extended mags is very useful for me, I think. Also, I would just like to point out that I'm not actually using any secondary weapon, nor have I got any tactical equipment. I don't really like tactical equipment. I don't find it very useful or helpful towards the game for me. I'm not really someone who uses that. I have lethal equipment though. I use an IED most of the time. I don't actually really like the C4 on here. Which is a bit of a shame because I actually used to like C4, so yeah, that's never mind. But yeah, I don't find that the secondary weapons are very useful. Like I think I would much rather have the extra space in my perks section and maximise my use of those perks instead of have another weapon which occasionally I might use. But I find that the secondary weapons are pretty weak. I don't really like any of the pistols. I've tried them out. I haven't really connected with any of them. And nor do I find any of the launchers that particularly great. I mean, I do have a grenade launcher, but it's not particularly fabulous. It's okay. It's alright when you want to muck about, but for trying to get like a kill streak, it's not really that fun and easy or good for me, to be honest. So yeah, I don't have anything on those. Okay, so moving on. So for my perks, my first perk I have is agility, which I use on pretty much all of my loadouts. I think it's really useful, it's really helpful. It just makes your movement speed a lot more quicker, and I don't know, I think for assault rifles especially, it's just a very nice perk to have. My second perk I also have is takedown. By the way, agility has 2 points out of your spaces, and yeah, so the second perk I have is takedown, which requires 1 point. It's to kill enemies without revealing the death locations, which I think, again, if you want to stealth, is a very good choice to have that on your little thing, because it only takes up 1 bar, so it's pretty good. And I've used it quite a bit. I don't always have it anymore. I used to start with. I used to have it on my I used to have takedown. It used to be quite helpful, especially when I was using marksmen or snipers. But I don't know. I think it's quite a versatile use perk anyway. So my third perk is dead silence. This I really like it. I think it's again good if you're trying to do a stealthing approach, and it takes up 2 spaces again, so it's not too bad. It's a dead silence means that you won't be able to be heard unless somebody is using amplify, which I don't know, I think quite a lot of people do use amplify most likely, so I don't know whether it's actually as useful as it seems. Who knows, but I think it's quite a nice advantage to know that you are silent pretty much to most people unless they have got that perk. And I think most of the time if someone's using that perk, it is if they've got a headset, because amplify is not really the most helpful if you've got just like surround speakers, I suppose. So dead silence, that's my third perk that I'm using on this class. My fourth perk that I'm using is Off the Grid. Now this one takes up slightly more spaces, it takes up 3, but what it means is you're undetectable on the minimap by SATCOM and by radar pings, which I don't know, I think that's quite helpful. Radar pings, I'm not too sure how popular they are over use. I've never really particularly used them. I don't really know any friends that have used them, but obviously SATCOMs are very easy to grab. Quite often used. It's quite common to see an enemy SATCOM line about, so it's nice to know that you're not going to appear on those if you're enemy teammates. And then finally, I've got my fifth. Is that fifth? I can't count. Yes, fifth. My fifth perk is another 2-space perk, and it's called Hardline, which is kill streak requires 1 less kill. Every 2 assists count towards a kill. Which I think that's pretty nice. I think that's really useful, especially when you have a strike package which is specialist, which I do on this loadout, which we'll talk about in a moment. I think it's very nice. It's very it's just a very simplistic add-on. I know it takes up 2 spaces, which could be used for something else, but I don't know, I think what you get in the end of it is loads more perks in your specialist, which are really easy to access. So I don't know, but I think 2 spaces for the sake of being able to use another like 5 is very worth it. Now I'm not going to go into too much detail about my strikeage pack, but what I have is I've used a specialist one and it gives me loads more different perks. Now the first perk I have is Amplify, then I've got Marathon and Quick Draw, and that's followed on by On The Go, Blind Eye, Incog and Ping. I don't know, I think that the Amplify and Marathon are the 2 things that you should definitely have first, because you've got 3 perks in your main loadout, which is good for stealthing, and I think because you have the hardline, it makes it very easy to access even more perks. So once you've got those 2 unlocked, you are pretty much good to go for either way of combat, which I don't know, I think is very helpful to have. So yeah, that's my strikeage package. Okay, so just quickly wanted to mention to you guys what maps I think this gun is good for. Now to be honest with you, I think it's pretty much the perfect gun for most maps. Now I've looked at this now and I found that Prison Break, Strike Zone, Freefall, Octane, Tremor, Warhawk and many of the other maps is pretty much good for. Any close range or mid-range combat you can pretty much get away with it depending how you go about your gameplay. The only kind of maps I found that there's much of a problem with is Whiteout and Stonehaven, mainly because they are maps that a lot of people tend to snipe and use marksmen for, which I don't know, it makes it a little bit more harder to just go guns blazing about if you've got people who are going to be using like thermal scope and stuff on you. So I don't know, but I have used it on Stonehaven, and if you're playing like Domination, for example, I think it's pretty easy to, surprisingly easy anyway, to stay alive and use this gun, because as long as you are using your stealth abilities to the maximum, you can actually work your way around to their spawn location and kind of not camp too much, but I don't know, it does work. I did get a good game out of it in the end by just sort of stealthing away. So it is doable, I guess. If you want to really use this gun for everything, you can get away with it, just depending how you use the loadout. But because I made this loadout pretty versatile, you can get away with pretty much anything, I found. Okay, so that's pretty much everything I wanted to say about this gun to you guys. I hope this video was pretty helpful in some way. If it wasn't, I do apologise. If it was, please give it like a thumbs up or something. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I'm planning on doing videos like this a lot more in the future, just to give you some advice. And with my gold guns, what I'm going to do is do a quick explanation of how to get gold pretty quickly. So that's going to be in my new series. It's going to be coming soon, so there's lots of stuff to look forward to. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.